Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment. You can listen to The Mike O'Mara Show at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Well, what have we here?
It's a podcast.
Fine.
And what excitement we have today.
It's The Mike O'Mara Show with Mike O'Mara and Robb Spiewak. Now, here's Mike.
I'm a bit logy. I realize that I have an old person schedule, and so when we are forced to stay up until the wee hours, to me, which is even before midnight, one gets a little logy the next day because I think the three of us are all kind of early morning people here, aren't we? And
why don't we schedule next? If there is another debate, let's do it at noon.
Middle of the day.
Yeah, noon Eastern, please.
When everybody's at work.
If we just push the show out, we can just wait and watch it in the morning. The replay.
That'd be great.
Hey, wouldn't be any fun. You want to see it live. Speaking of the debate, we are blessed again to have with us co-founder of the Lincoln Project, Mr. Reed Galen, joining us today after the debate. Reed has just started a brand new podcast that I want you to check out. It's called The Home Front, which is illuminating, educating, and organizing the pro-democracy movement, which it's all about with the Lincoln Project. And please give that a subscription and 5-star it wherever you consume your podcasts. Be sure to check out reedgalen.substack.com. Now more than ever, let's welcome Telly Award winner, former political strategist from George Bush to John McCain to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Mr. Reed Galen joins us right now. Reed, great to talk to you. When I heard we were going to get you on Wednesday later in the day, I'm sure you have been talking to a lot of people. Thank you so much for coming on because it seems like every month we get something that's historical. We had another historical debate last night, and we are all fresh-faced and ready to talk about it. I will tell you, everybody knows what team I play for. Mm-hmm. It's so interesting when I only have my wife as a sounding board. And so I was screaming because I thought in my mind that they were just not treating Kamala Harris the same way as they were treating Trump regarding allowing him to ramble on and not giving him the breaks. Then 10 minutes later, I'm watching CNN and watching one of the guys say, it was three people. It was 3-on-1. It's just your perspective in our divided nation. It's the way it happened. Your take on, I don't even know where to start with you, but I guess I'll say your first impressions as soon as you saw the handshake, which made news right away when you were watching the debate last night. It was kind of she made a statement, even at the beginning.
I think first and foremost, Mike, thanks for having me. It's great to see you and Robb again. I was flattered to see Robb's text. Look, I think from the moment that they walked on the stage, she demonstrated dominance of that stage. And for him, he didn't know what to do about it, right? He thought he could be surly and sort of, be standoffish, and she wasn't going to let it happen. And they probably had a pretty good idea that, okay, he might come to the middle of the stage, but if he doesn't, you're going to him.
Yeah,
right.
And she said, fine. And she strode right over to him. She shook his hand. He didn't look right. And he wasn't, look, Donald Trump is never right. He's not right in the head. He's not right in the things he says, but he didn't know what to do after that. And you could see him sort of hold it together for the first couple of minutes. But, Mike, just like in a football game, you were mentioning football in the pregame, just like in a football game, right? There's 100 plays a game, right? And 3 of them matter, right? The rest of them are 2 yards in a cloud of dust, 4 yards in a cloud of dust, an incomplete pass. She understood like the first 10 plays of that game. She watched him, and then in really masterful fashion, she dropped in that line about his rallies and people leaving. And that was like the sack for a loss of 14, right? Like he couldn't get out of it. He couldn't get out of his own way. At some point, he thought he was still running against Joe Biden, right? Like they knew exactly what they needed to do. As I understood it, talking to some friends that know the vice president, that she is a preparation fanatic. She wants to be as good as she can be, and she was. They ran her through her paces, and she stepped up. I'm going to mix all my metaphors. She stepped up to the plate, and she hit a home run.
She did, and I think it was obvious. It was obvious to when you're seeing people give her credit like Britt Hume on Fox, that she did a good job. The off the rails moment for Donald Trump, and I think most people do agree with this, would be when he brought up something I had not even heard myself: the eating of the pets, the eating of the dogs. And
I wish I had a Ring camera in my living room on me and Carrie when he said that.
Did you laugh out loud? I laughed out loud.
I laughed, and then Carrie looked at me and she says, "Oh, that's not real." And I said, "This is real, and this is really happening." And it only takes 3 strokes on your phone to find out it's been discredited. And then when the moderator actually tells him there's no proof of this, and yet it still continues to go on. It was a wonderful moment.
I would like you to put on your political strategist hat right now, and if you can, give me some insight as to, I'm sure you've been in some of those rooms when the candidate is about to go out on stage. What does it feel like back there? Is it kind of like a pitcher when he's pitching a no-hitter where you just leave the person alone right before it's going to happen? Do you give last minute notes? And I'm just fascinated what it would be like, especially when there's no audience there. Right. What that environment must be like.
I think you're right. Thinking about it and back to our sports metaphors, Mike, I think it really does depend on the candidate. Some want to be pumped up. Some want to be left alone. Some want to eat chicken fingers and French fries, whatever it is. Some like to go to a rally before the debate, right, to sort of burn off some nervous energy. I think it really takes all kinds. And what I would say is that just like, watching, putting your kid on the school bus for the first time, right? You send them out onto the stage and you hold your breath for the next 90 minutes sitting, oftentimes, the National, Constitution Center probably has some nice spaces to sit in, but oftentimes, you're in a locker room or some cramped room. And now that's all, it's all different now, because when I did it, it was a lot more analog. But everybody has their own thing. But I think she was at a cafe or a coffee shop in Pittsburgh a couple of days ago over the weekend. And, a reporter said, "Do you feel good about the debate?" And she said, "I did." And she clearly did. And, to your point, I was sitting in my living room with my wife, my 14-year-old daughter, and my mother watching that. And the cats and dogs thing, came out. And even my 14-year-old looked at me and said, "What the F?" And I said, "Come on, language." And she goes, "But really?"
I say that to my 11-year-old. Language.
And she and I go, "But yes." And so it was, a reporter friend of mine texted me and said that was his Kitty Dukakis moment, the moment that he just couldn't come back from, for all of you history nerds from 1988. It reminded me though, Mike, of Ghostbusters, 1984, right? Cats and dogs living together. Right?
Mass hysteria.
Right, exactly. For even, I was having a series of mini conversations with different reporters after the debate, and some people said, "Oh, it won't matter. People see him like this all the time." But here's the thing, is that individual voters, right? Voters who aren't locked into this stuff like I am, or Mike, even like you are, right? Don't see him that often. They don't see him for extended periods of time very often, right? So this was probably the first time, in months, where not a clip here or something on social media there, or yet another story about this or that, but that they actually got to eyeball him for, the better part of 2 hours. And I would say this, he was unserious and he was unhinged, and she came across as confident, competent. She laughed at him when he needed to be laughed at. She called him out when he needed to be called out. Back to your question about what it's like. The people on the Trump campaign, they must have just they were hoping against hope, right? They didn't have any other strategy other than we need you to talk immigration. We need you to talk immigration. We need you to talk immigration. And then try and throw some other stuff in. You could see that his talking points, if they were bullets, they sort of became Rorschach tests, right? But they got all sort of
Right.
scrambled in that cranium of his. And he really just couldn't get out of his own way.
I love your analysis sometimes, the Rorschach test. I have to ask this question as someone who is part of an organization that I would describe your video content for television and for online as the original baiting of Donald Trump. They're the most baiting commercials I've ever seen in all of politics, and that is absolutely without exception. The way you do it, hey, Donald, we know you're having and this debate, one of her main strategies in this debate was doing with her debate prep what you guys have done
Pushing buttons.
with video. That had to be kind of satisfying to see the way she handled him that way.
I listen, it 100% is and was because, you can't treat Donald Trump like a normal politician, right? It's not who, or a normal human even. And so, I think it was good to see. Look, Democrats by nature, Mike, do not like that kind of campaigning, right? They want to be issues based. They want to talk about how things are going to affect real Americans. And I get it, right? But that's not the world we live in. This was politics. We forget politics is an art almost more than it is a science, right? Now I've got all my data nerds and people counting votes who are probably going crazy, going, without the numbers, you can't do it. Well, that's true. But in this moment, I would venture to say that what the vice president had in her head going into that debate, she had long before any preparation took place, right? Like there's a very intelligent, very smart woman. So like she knew all she needed to do going in. What she needed to do, as you said, was like a fly fisherman, right? Lay that fly on the water and watch the fish come to it. And she did it. She knew exactly what she needed to do because, again, he's the most transparent person who's ever been president, right? There's nothing about what he feels or thinks that you don't know about because he tells you or someone around you tells you, right? Or he calls a reporter and tells them. Like he's transparent. And for one thing is, we've always said for going back to 2019, right? Late 2019, early 2020 when it started, is that to beat Trump, you have to stay in his face. He doesn't like it because you know what? He's a bully. He's a bully and he doesn't like it. And you got to stay after him consistently and totally. And again, I get it. You're not going to get him every time, but you're going to get him enough where he will reveal himself, right? He can't help it because, this guy he's an inch wide and an inch deep. There's not that much to him. And he's a walking id.
Yeah. And for those of you that don't know the expression, it's normally an inch deep and a mile wide. So just remember that. That's important.
Right.
Rob, I know you had a question.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If you look at his body language, Trump's body language from when he walked out to when the debate wound up, he actually transformed and he looked almost like a Frankenstein monster type look. He was so pent up and ready to get back at her in some way. How is it that someone who has surrounded himself with ostensibly the best political advisors he can, how is he not prepared for the attacks like that? Because he fell into every time she pushed a button, he jumped at it. How is he not prepared? Yeah.
Because this is the great trick that the Trump campaign from the end of last year to most of this year pulled on the mainstream media, frankly, which is we're the best in the business. We finally unlocked how to control Donald Trump and keep him on message. It was all BS from the get-go, right? He was much more comfortable running against Joe Biden because they'd spent 3 years setting up the predicate of Trump versus Biden. Now their whole entire strategy went out the window. Remember, this guy doesn't trust anyone to begin with. I'm sure somebody said, oh, there's no way Joe Biden's ever going to get out of the race, Mr. President. No, and it won't happen. And then it happens. They're left flat-footed, right? The reason why he's running away from something like Project 2025 is because even his people know that, like, when they test that stuff in polling, it's fundamentally unpopular. Right? As Tim Walz said at the Democratic convention, this is an agenda no one asked for. So the whole race in Trump's whole mindset going into 2024 was, I'm going to win because Joe Biden is so old and addled, he can't beat me. Now, that might have been true, right? But when you've decided that that's everything you're going to pour your entire movement into, not just the campaign, but all of the right-wing media and all of the front groups and all of the mis and disinformation, all of that stuff about Hunter's laptop and all that stuff, right? You've conditioned your entire political apparatus to prepare for one thing, and something 180 degrees from that happens, right? And he was incapable of dealing with it because he's almost 80 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Like, this is not a guy who can move on the dime. And so the preparation didn't matter. They could tell him a million times, don't take the bait, don't take the bait, don't take the bait. Right. Like, it doesn't matter. You know, he's a grizzled old Tasmanian devil, right? He's got a few last spins left in him. And I think we saw one of them last night.
Yeah. As someone who I've had my eyes on Kamala Harris for a long time, but I was during her initial presidential campaign, like a lot of people that thought this might be a person to watch, I was disappointed. So I've had to be sold on her again, and every test that comes along, I feel when she gets done with it, more so in this debate than any other, is this feeling of calm. I said that last night to the people I was watching the debate with. I feel calm. I feel as though, okay, that was a big part of her performance. It wasn't all about baiting Donald Trump and handling Donald Trump. It was also about the big deal of looking, as they say, the cliche, looking presidential and looking like she's in charge. I think she passed that test with flying colors, and that was almost as important as dealing with Trump, in my opinion.
No, I think that's absolutely right. I mean, she too had to introduce herself to a lot of America. As I said, just like with Trump, most people don't see him all day, every day. Most people probably hadn't tuned in to watch Kamala Harris. Now, you know, everybody's like, oh, she's a bad vice president. Like, first of all, I don't think that's true. Second of all, it was John Adams, the first vice president, who said this was the worst job humanity ever created. So it's almost an impossible job to do and have any, like, it is really Veep. Right? Like, you've got 5 people. The West Wing is telling you what to do all the time. You have to go to places you don't want to go. You have to do things you don't want to do, right? Because you only have 2 official jobs. Wait for the president to die and cast tie-breaking votes, and swear, maybe 3, swear in U.S. senators. Like, that's it. That's constitutionally and statutorily. Those are the only things the vice president actually has the authority to do. So I think that's one. I think the second part is we tend to forget that most candidates need to lose to be better candidates. They need to have a really bad campaign to learn from that. And I think that 2019 was that for her. Okay. I think she wasn't totally comfortable with who she is then. And I think spending 3.5 years sitting in the White House, flying around on Air Force Two, understanding the nature of what it means, not just to campaign, but to govern, not as a senator, right, where you're one of 100, but as a would-be president where you're one of one. I think she understood that. And I think that, unlike a lot of people, she has vacuumed up that information, that wisdom, right? It's all well and good to say, oh, in 2019, I was calling for X, Y, and Z. Well, now I've been at the head of the table for 3.5 years. You know, my values don't change, but maybe my tactics have. My belief that people should have this, or as a country, we should do that, hasn't changed. But the fact that we need to do it a different way probably has, because now that I've seen how it works, like, we're going to have to do it differently. And I thought she handled that question well.
I want you to put your political strategist hat on, because I was in, I think, dreamland by the time this may have happened. When I woke up this morning and found out that Trump had rolled into the spin room, I thought immediately, oh my God, I'm so glad we're talking to Reed today, because that's one of the main things I want to ask him about. As a political strategist, I know he doesn't listen to anybody, but he is handled to a degree. Somebody's got to handle it. Do they say, oh, yeah, that'll be a good idea? Or are there people trying to grab him around the waist and say, don't go in there. Don't go in there, Mr. President. How do you think something like that goes down, where he actually walks into – it just doesn't happen especially on this level. It doesn't happen very often that a candidate will come into the spin room.
No, I think they just let him do it. I think at this point, the people around him have probably, to the extent that they can make peace with the decisions they've made, we're like, what are we going to do? Tell him no? Is he going to listen to us? He's not going to listen to us.
They literally threw their hands in the air. Just like, whatever.
Or put their hands in their pockets, right? Like they're like, we got 55 days to go. We got a bunch of money we still got to steal from this guy. Most of them, frankly, Mike, probably hope he loses. right? Because if he loses, a lot of the people working for him will be accepted back into polite Republican society, even though I think they should be excised forever. And, you know, if he wins, then like they have to deal with him. And so I'm sure there's some true believers that hope he wins. There's no question. But I think the professionals, but, you know, it was like I worked for a guy in California years ago, and he had this cockamamie idea for a ballot measure. And so we did some focus groups in San Diego. And from the get-go, the people in the focus group freaking hated it. They hated the idea, right? But this guy was such a nut that he went into the room and started demanding of these people why they knew better than he did, right? And we're like, please don't do this. This is a bad idea. You should not do this. Couldn't control him, right? And it's the same thing. Is like, what are you going to do? Tell him no? But then
it's a dance. It's a delicate dance, isn't it, for these?
Yeah,
guys
but
and
well,
ladies?
but yeah, I mean, but most people, you know, look, I think like a Kamala Harris is going to listen. She's going to keep her own counsel, and then she's going to do what she thinks is best. Trump's just like, he knew he had done badly. He knew that, right? I mean, he is not intelligent in the classic sense, but he very well knows a good performance from a bad performance, and he knew this was a bad one. And so he needed to try and change the dynamic. He needed to be in the spotlight. That's the other part, too, I think, that is so important about what the Harris-Walz campaign has done, which is as the vice president has come to the top, she has put him into eclipse, and he's not used to being there, and he hates it. He hates not being the center of attention, which is why I think after last night, Mike, his behavior, crazy as it is, will only get worse for the next 8 weeks, because everything to him is about attention. Everything to him is about making sure that he sees something he said at the top of the New York Times, even if it was insane.
We're talking to Reed Galen, co-founder of the Lincoln Project, and his new podcast is called The Home Front. Rob, I know you have a question for Reed, and then I've got a couple of questions about what happens next as we go forward. Go ahead, Rob.
Tangentially related to the debate. Obviously, the whole race changed when Biden stepped aside and Kamala came in.
Right.
Is there any chance there will be some sort of 11th hour surprise from the Trump campaign and him getting rid of Vance and bringing in, God forbid, RFK Jr., that nutcase? Because that was sort of a talk maybe a week ago. And he, after last night, if they don't debate again, he's going to have to do something, correct me if I'm wrong, to shake it up. And that would certainly shake it up. Is there a chance of him doing something that drastic?
I mean, here's let me get nerdy with you for a second.
Good.
Here's the issue with that now, which is all over the country, in all 50 states, whether or not they're key electoral college states like Michigan or Wisconsin or, you know, Wyoming.
Right.
Secretaries of state or elections officials are starting to actually print ballots, right? They have designed them, and now they are going to the printer, right? So that they are either ready to be mailed out like they are in some states, or they are ready for election day, right? Because I don't know how long it takes, but there's some lead time. And so the issue now is like, I don't know that you could get him off his name off a ballot, even if you wanted to, right? It's going to say JD Vance. I suppose because he's the head of the party, he could make a change. Now, RFK Jr. doesn't do much for him. I mean, he's
good.
I mean, RFK was patient zero of eating dogs, right? There's that picture of him eating a dog, right? So he's like, he's a dog eating, bear killing, whale carrying nut job, right? Like, he doesn't appeal to normal people.
And what's the deal with him and Cheryl Hines? How is that working? I mean,
she tries to distance herself.
She should distance himself with a legal agreement called a divorce, because the man's a crazy guy.
Look, I mean, I know members of his family, and I know some people that are close to him, and he does have some sort of strange magnetism, right? You can't deny that there is a charisma. He's he's a Kennedy.
Right.
He's known this, like, he knows how to do that. But now, look, remember too, let me back up. I'm sorry. RFK Jr.'s whole job, right, was to beat up Joe Biden in the Democratic primary.
Okay.
Right. And when the Biden campaign in the spring and summer of 23 wouldn't take the bait, RFK Jr. decided to run as an independent. That wasn't the plan that the Trump people and Steve Bannon and everybody else had worked out, right? He was supposed to go, if he couldn't figure out how to take on Biden directly, he was supposed to get out of the race. And that's why you see like Kennedy, Jill Stein, Cornell West, right? These people were all supposed to fill the space that Donald Trump can't fill himself because his ceiling electorally, right? The percentage of the vote he's going to get nationally is like 46%.
Okay.
He needed people like those others to fill that extra 4 or 5% to make sure Biden couldn't get it. It's now different because, Kennedy's still going to be on the ballot in Michigan. And there are still people who will vote for him because they don't like Trump. For things as crazy, Mike, as like they call RFK supporters call him a quote pureblood because he's never been vaccinated. And they don't like Trump because he has. Like, that's how weird and ugly when you get down into the grass that they get with these people.
It's I could do an hour talking about RFK Jr. and the reason that he is the way he is. My brother-in-law actually worked with him for a period of time a long time ago and had some very interesting things to say about him. I won't go into any more detail with that. As we move forward now, we wake up in the morning after the debate. We're still a divided country. The election, the polling that'll come out, these debates don't dramatically move the meter, no matter what, unless something stunning happens. It didn't.
Right.
As we go forward, two questions for the future of the campaign. The first, do you think, even though he's saying he might not want to do it now, that we have another debate before Election Day? And at the end of this campaign, where do you think the Republican Party goes from here?
The Harris campaign has already said they're willing to go anywhere, anytime. They said that they put out they clearly had it written and ready to go, but I think as soon as the moderator said, "Thank you so much for joining us," like that thing hit the wire. So, Trump said Trump said on Fox News last night, he doesn't think he needs to do another one because he won. The truth is that I don't think he wants to do another one because I don't think they can afford it. Right. So he's in a catch-22, but his whole campaign has been a catch-22 that I wrote about going back even to last year on my Substack. I think before the Republic, we have to really discuss, I think, something serious, Mike, before we talk about the future of the Republican Party, which is on Election Day, right? If Donald Trump in his campaign will do everything they can to throw sand in the gears of the electoral process in the confidence that the American people have in their elections. They are going to do that so that they can set up the predicate that on November 5th, when he loses, that it was again stolen from him, like it was in 2020. And so we should not be under any illusion that he will say and do whatever it is he thinks he needs to try and skew the outcome. And so I see this really in two phases, between this moment and when polls close on November 5th, and from the moment polls close until January 20th, 2025. Now, look, Donald Trump could still win, right? We live in a world, unfortunately, where that is a possibility. Do I think it's more likely after last night than less? No, but it's still possible.
Come down to my town and I'll.
I'm sure.
I'll show you how that works.
No, you live in Bavaria on the beach. Like, I mean, it's a whole different deal down there.
Bavaria on the beach.
Wow,
I'm writing that one down. Yeah.
I already have. Yeah.
But I mean, I would say that. So I think so. Let's say that Donald Trump is thrashed on Election Day, and even the people who are most loyal to him say, you know what, like, I'm not going to jail for this guy, like all these January 6th goons did. Here's the problem, is that he will still own the party. The people that are loyal to him will still make up the bulk of the Republican Party. Now, there will be millions of Republicans who want to move on. The problem is those people who will give money, who will turn out in, let's say, a primary in 2026, are still going to look to him more than they're going to look to anybody. And I could make an argument that if you're in a primary campaign as a Republican 2 years from now, the most valuable thing your campaign could get would be Donald Trump's endorsement, because there's still going to be more Trump voters participating.
So
in the
you
primary.
don't see a fade away situation, which maybe it's wishful thinking on my part, that if he loses, and he loses significantly, that he kind of fades into the background. You don't see that happening.
I don't think he's capable of it. I don't think he wants it. You remember that if he loses, all of the things that he's been avoiding consequences for the better part of the last 50 years are all going to come home to roost. That's not going to engender better behavior. I think the other part too is that in a lot of places, Florida included, MAGA has seeped through, right? These states are gerrymandered to within an inch of their lives. So the state legislatures and the congressional delegations are all out of whack. The Republicans have now decided they're going to be as crazy as they need to be, if not because they really believe it, because they cynically know I have to be way over here in crazy land in order to get enough votes out of my base. And look, the people that helped create Trump, right? Trump was the luckiest thing that ever happened to the right wing evangelical arch-right movement in this country, which is they've spent 50 or 60 years and billions of dollars building up massive infrastructure, which has been largely successful, as we could see with the Dobbs decision, as we could see with all of these state legislatures and so many other things. They're not just going to pitch their tents and go home, right? They're going to figure it out. Now, will they find someone that they can basically run through the car wash, right? And say, okay, he's not really MAGA. He maybe played footsie with Donald Trump back in the day because you had to. I think there will be a lot of those people. You think Nikki Haley or Ron DeSantis are these people, but the truth is that they're getting rid of Trump's like the moment after a car wreck when the doctor tells you you're going to live. Okay, you're going to live, but you're still in bad shape, right? It's going to be a while. You're going to have to get put back together. Even when you get out, you've got a lot of work to do, and that is American democracy. Right. There's a lot of work left to do. And I would say that as much as I want to believe that the fight is over, like the fight directly with Trump, okay, yeah, that probably is a little bit over. But the fight against MAGA as a movement, which again is the Republican Party is just its political wing, I think will go on for, several years to come. And it won't be until as much of it is sort of put in the ground as possible that you can really start to have a realistic conversation about what comes next, because the people who represent the billionaires and the people who represent the guys in the red hats, right? Like that's a very difficult coalition to hold together. And Trump was able to do it basically on the strength of the fact that everybody is afraid of him. Everybody's afraid of what he might do. And then, he won in 2016 when we all thought he was going to lose, and we don't want to make that mistake again. And so as much as I'd like to believe this is over when we wake up on November 6th, I think we've got work ahead of us.
That's a great answer. And I'm very, very vigilant now when I hear that. And I can't tell you how much we appreciate you coming in and giving us your expertise on this, Reed. Always a pleasure. I've said this to you once before. I'll say it again. I think, history will remember organizations like the Lincoln Project. Probably I'll be in a box somewhere under the ground, but it's going to...
don't say probably.
No, you're going to the crematorium, so don't worry.
I think I'm going. Yeah, I'm being cremated. But
you need to take up as little space as possible. That's how it's going to.
You know what? One more time, hopefully before the end of the year, we get you back on to talk about the results and And I find it fascinating. Once again, it seems like we've been saying this every year. These are interesting times, and nobody does a better analysis than you. Check out Reed's podcast, The Homefront, and also reedgalen.substack.com now more than ever. Reed, always a pleasure. Thank you. I really love talking to you, and don't be a stranger. I hope we see you again really soon. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thanks, Mike. Thanks, Rob.
Such a good guy, Reed. Thank you very much.
Reed Galen, everyone. We are going to take a break. When we return, we've got the round table, we've got video, we've got everything, and note to self. I'm going to say this publicly for everybody.
Yeah.
Enjoy doing two-man interviews with Robb Spiewak. We'll take a break, and we will come back with more right here on the Mike O'Mara Show. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, everybody. It may be September, but it still gets hot, and you still need hydration. Liquid IV has refreshing flavors like popsicle firecracker and rainbow sherbet. Had a little trip to my kid's school for lunch yesterday, and one of his buddies was telling me how much he enjoys Liquid IV. And I said, that's wonderful, Taylor. If you need transformative relief, indulge in hydration with Liquid IV. Electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients from the #1 powdered hydration brand in America. Liquid IV, the secret. LIV Hydroscience, the science-backed formula. It's an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients to turn your ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. And if you're out there and exercising, if you're out on a hot day, if you're at a rally and you're getting ready to get bored and walk out early, whatever it is, take this Liquid IV and check out the 5 delicious sugar-free flavors: raspberry melon, rainbow sherbet, white peach, green grape, and lemon lime, and the return of fan-favorite hydration multiplier, cotton candy. I love them all. I love them dearly. Grab a variety pack. Fun. Tear, pour, live more. Indulge in hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code TMOS at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code TMOS at liquidiv.com, ladies and gentlemen. News. That was great. Wasn't it fun talking to Reed? It always
so great.
is.
So
he has
nice.
so many. Bavaria on the Beach. I'll stay with that one for.
And that's the name of today's show.
Yes. Listen, I think we have to be very aware of the fact that we mentioned this today. 23 years ago. Hard to believe, isn't it?
Yes.
We were in New York. 2001, 8:46 a.m. to 9:03 a.m. 2 hijacked planes crashed into the World Trade Center. There are people that are grown-ups now that don't remember that don't have any reality memory of that. It stuns me that this is part of history.
When I wake up in the morning and I put a little something on Facebook, Robert wasn't born yet.
Yeah.
Nearly 22 years old, 6'5", Robert Spiewak, not born yet. Julia was an infant, and it seems like we were all kids when I look back on it. It's just crazy.
2 other suicide flights crashed at the Pentagon right in D.C. and in the woods of Pennsylvania. A total of 2,792 people died in the World Trade Center attacks. 184 innocent people died in the Pentagon attack, including those on the plane, and 40 died in the plane that crashed, crashed in Pennsylvania. And, we talk about it periodically, but Rob and I were on the Don and Mike show, and we were in New York getting ready to do a live broadcast on Tuesday morning. We would fly in on Tuesday or take the train in the night before or that morning. And some of us had done the train, some of us were flying, and it was something else. I'll never forget it.
I remember we took the train up on Monday, and the first train hit. Normally the routine was we'd grab breakfast at a restaurant that was actually in the building.
Yep.
Where WNEW
Brooklyn
was.
Diner.
Yep. And Mike would finish up, and it was my idea. It was not my idea, but it was my duty to hang out and settle up with the check. Mike would kindly pay, but
Right.
I would have to. And so I was
I'd be
by
sprinting
myself.
upstairs.
The first plane hit when I was on the elevator going up, and the second plane hit. We were all in Ken's office, Ken Stevens, the general manager, watching it on television. And it happened at a point where their morning show, The Sports Guys, was on. And the moment it happened, they shuffled them out and put the Don and Mike show on. And I think we went
8 hours, I think.
8 hours that day, yeah. And it was sort of surreal because we were just a few yards away from the news station up there. And we
WINS was on the floor above us,
Right
which
above
is
us.
Really one of the best, if not the best all news station in the country. And
so
people
we
ask
were
me, go ahead.
I was going to say, we would share information with them, and it was that kind of thing where it was just repeating, the info that rolled in as it happened. And I think we eventually took some phone calls, but it was a surreal day. There's just no way to put it into words.
So if you get a chance, pause and remember those people that we lost all those years ago. Time does fly. You do realize that. Taylor Swift made a presidential endorsement last night after watching the debate. Taylor posted her support for Kamala Harris on Instagram. She said, quote, "I'm voting for Kamala Harris because she fights for the rights and causes I believe need a warrior to champion them. I think she is a steady-handed, gifted leader, and I believe we can accomplish so much more in this country if we are led by calm and not chaos." She also told her fans to do their own research and make their own choice, and she signed it Taylor Swift, childless cat lady. That's funny.
That was the biggest win of the night.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, in the world we live in today. It was accompanied by a picture of Taylor with her cat, Benjamin Button. I didn't know she had a cat, Benjamin Button.
It's a cat, Mike. She got it full grown, and it's getting smaller.
Holding it tighter because she never knows when a Haitian immigrant's going to try to eat it. This is, kind of for a rock and roller, this guy's got a wholesome image that a little bit tarnished as we wake up today. Dave Grohl wandered outside the boundaries of his marriage 9 months ago, and he did it raw. In an Instagram post yesterday, he said, quote, "I've recently become the father of a new baby daughter born outside of my marriage. I plan to be a loving and supportive parent to her. I love my wife and children, and I am doing everything I can to regain their trust and earn their forgiveness. We're grateful for your consideration toward all the children involved as we move forward together." I know you like Grohl. It's surprising kind of from a guy like this.
It is a little surprising. It doesn't, the fact that he came out in front of it and he announced it, I guess that's good. Mistakes happen. No one's perfect. I still love his music, and I really enjoy what I read on, I think it was Instagram yesterday, and I think it was quite fitting. Someone just wrote the phrase "dirty Paul Grohl," and I think that's very pleasant.
Dave and his wife, Jordan Bloom, have been married since 2003. They have three daughters, 18-year-old Violet, 15-year-old Harper, and 10-year-old Ophelia. Violet deactivated her Instagram after the announcement. Look, everybody does make mistakes. I get it. That's the way you do. He is he's iconic. He's way up there in the world of rock and roll. So, and because he's also kind of that presence, that kind of folksy presence. So I think a lot of people might have been surprised. But
it's smart to get out there instead of the gossip and the trash media coming at him.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I'm sure, it obviously sounds like a painful time with his family before he went public with this knowledge.
The weird thing is the mother that he cheated with was Dionne Warwick. No one expected that, but they both have a history in music. And so
you don't know who Robb's referring to, please get Google Dionne Warwick.
She has plates the size, her teeth are the size of dinner plates, Mike.
Walk on by.
Do you know the way to San Jose?
I was singing my favorite. Walk on by.
Both great.
Do you know the way to San Jose? Let's move on, shall we? File this under W for Who's Laughing Now?
Oh.
Australian breakdancing superhero Ray Gunn, a.k.a.
Talk of the Olympics.
Rachel Gunn. She is officially the number one ranked female breakdancer in the world.
The world. Mike,
the world.
The world.
The world.
How does this happen? She was horrible.
I have the answer for you. The three women who actually medaled at the Olympics didn't even make the top 10. Pretty much the entire universe wanted to know how this was possible, just like Robb.
Yeah.
So breaking's governing body, the World Dance Sport Federation, they issued an explanation. The rankings are based on points from each dancer's top 4 performances over the past 12 months. And only the last 12 months. I don't understand. I don't even understand what I'm reading.
Mike, it's all politics.
The awarding of points was interrupted this year by the Olympics. So the athletes could focus on training. This is the case for a lot of sports. Because of that, 3 major events did not count toward dancers' points. The Olympic qualifiers in Shanghai and Budapest, and the Olympics themselves.
Right.
Budapest. You got to come down here to Bavaria on the beach, Robb.
That's nice.
Even though Ray Gunn got 0 points for her amazing Olympic routine that everybody saw. Neither did the other dancers, including the 3 who won medals. There were actually very few ranking events in the sport this year, and it just so happens that ray gun won one of the last non-Olympic events of the past year. I don't know how that happened, but it happened.
They asked the World Breakdancing Conference, they asked this governing body, they said, did you have a plan for her to be number one? And this was their reply.
I have concepts of a plan.
Oh my God! You know what? Before we have the kicker story here, I did want to ask our other person, who, by the way, Josh is somebody who is open with the way he feels, and Josh and I coexist because I think that's the way it ought to be.
I love
and Josh is very reasonable. How did you feel last night? Did you watch the whole thing last night?
Yeah, I love all the politics stuff, so
you're a
I
junkie.
watched the whole thing. Yeah,
Right.
I'm a junkie. I felt that it wasn't. She got under Trump's skin early, and that was obvious. And then Trump struggled throughout that. I do, as a Republican, it did feel like I wanted more follow-up questions for her that they weren't, and it was a lot of, well, it did seem it was Trump versus the moderators a lot versus.
Yeah, you're echoing what a lot of Republicans are saying
I've definitely
today.
felt that there was, but I think really there was no the bar was set so low going into that for Kamala that the fact that she didn't cackle, she didn't do her weird lines and gibberish that no one understands means she won just coming out of that. That she sounded political.
Weird Lines, and by the way, that's my new album, Weird Lines and Gibberish, which I am going to...
the coconut tree thing and I don't remember her other line.
All right, well, I'm going to release that before Christmas.
Great.
It's going to be Weird Lines and Gibberish, so I'm looking forward to that. Finally today, thank you for that, Josh. I appreciate it. The Health Department in Queensland, Australia, put out an alert the other day letting people know that it is okay to poop at work. Now, you got 3 guys here that it doesn't apply to because we're working at home, but apparently...
I still don't poop here, Mike.
In your own home. You go out into the woods.
The yard, yes.
This is apparently something many people struggle with or do their best to avoid. They had fun with it by getting in on the Symphony Dolphin meme, where you post a whimsical image of a dolphin and rainbows with a non-inspirational message. The 2017 song Symphony by Clean Bandit. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about here.
I think they do another song called Kamala's Coconut Tree.
The post said it's okay to poo at work. And they added that lots of people find it difficult. I get that.
Yeah.
By the way, do you remember my activity when I would have the urge if I was leaving work or coming into work? Do you remember what I used to do, Rob?
You would. I have clear memories of you walking through the lobby with a USA Today.
Now,
waving to
that's
the
when I
front
wood
desk.
poop at work. But
Right.
if I was outside
I do
of
know.
the
You
work,
you would stop at, was it Lord and Taylor?
Woodward and Lothrop, a department store, and in
No
Fairfax,
longer in business.
and I because work was fine. We had facilities that were adequate. But
as long as
would.
you didn't follow the junkies, they were adequate.
Yeah, but that was you stole my kicker, but that's okay.
I'm sorry.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
You know, I was gonna. Well, I'll state you didn't get the name out, so that's good. I will tell you this: that I could handle work, and I would walk down the hallway with a USA Today because that was fine, and you're there for a long period of time.
Sure.
However, the public restrooms are what I'm hinky about. There's nothing I hate more than an absolutely necessity poo at a place that might be have the dribblies all over.
Does anything pop to mind as the worst public restroom you've ever used? Because I can tell you without batting an eye what it is.
I believe the worst public restrooms always coincide with the most traffic. When you talked about Penn Station in New York City, fouler than foul, and when you talked about stadium experiences, where you can go to a stadium for anything and look at 4 stalls, 5 stalls, 6 stalls, none of them occupiable. at that
I don't think
particular
I've
time.
ever done big potty at a stadium. Come to think on it.
I have.
But Mike, of course you have. But I remember when you were with Pat Sajak. Does that count at an arena?
Pat and I were in the same stall together.
But,
that was
Mike,
nothing to do with poo, though.
The worst public bathroom, almost tried to hold it in, was at south of the border. It was horrendous, life-changingly bad. Because even when they built it, I can imagine it could have been sparkling, and it's still cinder block.
So horrible.
Oh,
I get
it was nasty.
I've been to that place. I know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. Now, as far as not pooping at work, you should, it says, because it's important for people to hear this, because consistently ignoring your need to go can lead to serious issues like hemorrhoids.
Well, like what?
Hemorrhoids
Yes, okay.
or internal blockages. So
Yes.
it's better to let it out than hold it in. They dropped the term poo paranoia and listed 4 things that might help people who suffer for it. So if you're at the workplace and you are afraid to do this, listen to this. Number 1, remember everyone poops. Try visualizing someone famous on the toilet, like the aforementioned Taylor Swift.
or Dionne Warwick.
Number 2, bring a small fragrance spray in the toilet with you. Well, that's a little much, but you can.
I have
you know?
one.
Yeah.
Mine smells like sweet corn.
What was the little one that we used to spray?
Citrus Magic.
Citrus Magic, and then there was one before that. Was it Odium or something like that?
I remember one called Odium. Yeah,
Odium. That's it.
Mike, just a quick sidelight. Do you remember our intern Christine Kerner? You know that
Yes.
that studio during the days of the Don and Mike show was rich with
Yes,
gas.
it was.
And whenever gas was passed, I was back there, so I would spray this Citrus Magic, which was a great air freshener.
Oh, best air freshener ever.
One time, Christine Kerner came into the studio and said, "Why does it always smell like oranges in here?"
Because the alternative will kill you. Number 3, avoid food or drinks that might trigger you, your bowels. Anyway. And number 4, breathe deeply and do a short meditation exercise. That'll calm you down, and then you can poo away. This report brought to you by Eric Bickle. Thank you very much. Yes.
Mike, when we worked in Georgetown, I used to stop at the bagel bakery on the way into work as a courtesy to others.
Sure.
Because that was a really inadequate restroom in that building.
Right. Yeah, and that's wonderful. And if you ate a bagel, it has a binding effect. That's it. We are going to take a short break. We're going to come back with something because we always do. You, ladies and gentlemen, are listening to the Mike O'Mara Show. Whoa. And I want to tell you about a new sponsor of the Mike O'Mara Show. It's called Orgain. Damn it, I forgot to bring mine in. I was going to drink
I already
it right
drank
on the
mine.
show.
I can't try.
Mine's
Well,
right here.
Josh did it. There.
Josh has got one. Josh has got his Orgain. One of the biggest challenges to eating better is that so many better-for-you products taste so bad. Well, there's a brand that has cracked the code on providing real nutrition that also tastes incredible. I love Orgain. Orgain's 30-gram protein shakes. You heard me right, 30 grams.
That's crazy.
In that little bottle, that little carton that Josh is holding up, 30 grams of protein, an excellent source of complete protein with all 9 essentials. Oh, look what happened. Look, we both have it now. That's Mrs. O'Mara
Well,
who's listening to the show today.
I planned to bring mine in.
I
But,
have concepts of a plan.
and I just couldn't remember to bring it in. So I'm the odd man out.
I'll be nursing
Tasty.
this for the rest of the show. Chocolate taste is the best. Gives me the energy, provides muscle support, recovery, helps manage hunger, and promotes healthy weight management. Orgain is convenient, real nutrition with only 1 gram of sugar per serving and no soy ingredients. Sorry about that. I got all saliva.
That's all right. Mike is taking your busy time to drink his Orgain.
No artificial flavors or sweeteners. 30 grams of protein. 30.
Mike, protein.
Protein. And it also contains, wait a minute, I got lost. It tastes amazing. Orgain 30-gram protein shakes are available at Costco and Orgain.com. If you want to get in on the delicious protein-packed nutrition today, head to Orgain.com/TMOS, our code, and use that code for 20% off your order. Remember, that's ORGAIN.com/TMOS for 20% off, and make sure you use the promo code TMOS so they know we sent you. I want to have this sponsor for a long time.
Yes.
So please go out and get yourself some Orgain, ladies.
Make it happen.
Gentlemen. Welcome back to the show. Oh boy! Can I just say this one last thing? I know it's Wednesday, and we're going to go into the
Hump
next
day.
week of the NFL. But with all my bitching, and I know I've bitched a lot this week, it's still just a game. And when I finally download after the terrible experience, I get it. Okay, you're paying a guy $1 gazillion, and he's not doing the. But I was saying to my son yesterday, as we were talking about Giants quarterback Daniel Jones once again, I said, you know what? I kind of feel bad for the guy. And everybody's going to say, no, he's getting all that money. Don't feel bad. This is a child's game we are talking about here. And the idea of lining up outside and booing him, I'm not cool with that. I don't like that at all. And the
How
other
much
thing
would
is,
he have to make for it to be okay to boo him? Because I think it's probably okay.
see, now you're going to bait me into saying something funny that's
I'm
going
not-
to be also cruel.
I'm not baiting anybody.
$7 an hour, Rob.
Well, that's not even minimum wage.
$7 an hour. I don't think the boo birds come out. No, it's just I thought about him and the New York media, and in that market, in that
Tough
media
market. Tough
it
market.
is so difficult. Now, it doesn't come with the territory. It comes with the territory for everybody. That's the way it goes. But at the same time, it's just, God almighty, I saw so much online passionate hatred, almost more than you get when your team wins. And look, do I want to see the guy continue at quarterback? No, I don't. Like to see him bench him. That's the nuts and bolts. But at the same time, you do have to realize that this is a human being on the other side, and I can imagine it's not exact. He can't want to go out there and do what he does, but that doesn't change the fact that they should probably make a move.
He's paid too much to be benched, so they would have to find other jobs for him. Like, do you think he could sweep, like in the locker room or something?
Josh might know this. I don't know. I think one of the deals is they have to keep him. If they keep playing him and he gets hurt, that could screw them too, where they won't get the cap when they release him. They won't, right? There's some. It's all
I'm
that
not sure
NFL stuff.
how the money side works, but I mean, they say he's starting week 2 and no
Yeah,
change.
he said that
And-
early on. Brian Daboll, way to go, Brian Daboll.
Well, and it's got to mean that in these practices, at least, he looks better than the backups. He's got to look better
I
than
would
Drew
think
Lock,
so.
or you would run with Drew Lock.
I would think so. But I think that also I listen to everything. Tiki Barber, former New York Giants. I think he's on the Fan up in
He
New York.
loved to fumble.
Tiki Barber was talking about that you'll see the change if things continue 3 to 4 games in. That's hard to believe if he has another disastrous performance like he did last week. But getting back to
Who do they
just
play this week? I'm sorry, I
your
don't know.
Commanders
Oh boy! So one of us. Is it possible for them to
in
both lose?
Washington, I believe they're going to play down
The
in
home
Washington.
opener. I wonder if they'll fly Sonny in for that.
I don't know. It's been so long. I'm so out of touch up there. Do you even know who does the broadcast now? Is Sonny's not still there, is he?
No,
is Sonny still on the radio
I don't know
broadcast?
who does. I don't know who does the radio broadcast. I'm sure it's Larry, or no, because he had to step
It's not
down.
Larry. Larry had to be fired because of that whole dirty pictures with Snyder. Snyder,
No,
who is
it is a guy named Bram Weinstein.
Okay,
Bram Weinstein.
He's a Washington Post guy, I think, from way back.
A
And who does
DMV
color?
native with over a decade of experience covering Washington sports.
Okay, and does he have a guy doing color or?
Let's see. He also has London Fletcher.
Okay,
Who
former
was a
Redskins.
member of
Famous
the
player,
Ring of Honor.
right?
Yeah.
Hold on, we
Lou-
have the phones ringing right now, and it says that this. What was that? What was that name
Bram
again?
Weinstein.
I see Weinstein on the
it might-
identifier.
it could
Answer
be
it,
him.
Rob.
Okay, hello. Hello, who is this?
Bram Weinstein.
Hi, Bram. How are you?
I'm doing fine. Just want to say I'm looking forward to. God, this sounds terrible. I'm so sorry.
Bram, you need a better phone.
I have a terrible phone.
Was that provided by the Washington Commanders?
I'm not sure. There we go. Hi.
Bram
That's
Weinstein,
it.
everybody.
Hey, Josh, does that sound better?
That sounds better. Yes.
It sound much
Can
better, or
understand.
does it just sound a little better?
No, it sounds much better.
That's
it's really
good.
bad to start.
Is
Hi,
it
it's
true
Bram
what you
Weinstein.
said? Bram, is it true what you said that the Giants' offense is Meshuggah?
Hey, they're sugar. They're for the breaks. I love the game. Up, down, up, down the field. March they go, gridiron. Lots of things. Passing, running.
What?
All
What?
the
Passing
different
and
things.
what?
Passing, running, all the things that make it special. Bram Weinstein, out.
Yeah, and don't miss Bram Weinstein on the Ed Sullivan Show this Sunday night.
That's it. What happened? Is it still all right? It's gone. Anywho,
Hey,
yeah.
good recovery on that phone effect, by the way.
Well, I heard it the other day. It wasn't that good. I like the phone effect. The phone
I do
effect is
too.
one of my. Oh, the phone's ringing again.
Oh, it is. Hello.
Hey, I just wanted to wrap things up.
Oh, Bram, hi.
Please join me in London Fletcher. London Fletcher and Bram Weinstein. Is there a third wheel in the booth?
Logan Paulson.
Logan Paulson. Yeah, good guy. Yeah.
Is he?
I don't know.
And then you can't forget Julie Donaldson. to
And
wrap it up.
Julie Donaldson, she's fantastic. I think you're gonna love that. So it's London Fletcher, Grant who?
Fletcher.
London
Van-
Fletcher.
London Fletcher,
London Fletcher.
Logan Paulson.
Bram Weinstein,
Logan Paulson.
Lucy Lawless, and all the other fantastic people, and Burt Reynolds.
That's right. Hey, Bram,
Yes, hi Rob.
hot dog.
Hot dog. Hi Sonny. Goodbye.
All right, that's all the football talk we have for you, ladies
I
and
think
gentlemen.
you wrapped it up tightly.
Thank you.
Who wins, though? Who wins in this disastrous match?
Do you want to do a bet?
Sure.
Would you like to bet against? You're not happy with your Commanders, and I'm not. I'm certainly not happy with my Giants.
It's a home opener. I think the Commanders will win, and I think they will win handily. But
we'll do a $20 bet that we
All right.
will pay off in Las Vegas when we see each other, and I'm going to think my Giants do have a bounce back weekend, and I'm going to say I think the Giants are going to win.
okay, and when we pay off, we'll pay off in chips.
Chips in the casino on the floor of the downtown Grand Hotel.
I don't want to get on the floor, Mike. It's too hard to get up.
Lying on your back, wearing your Elvis outfit. It's going to be fantastic. Just ask Bram Weinstein. It should be
I
a lot
wonder
of
if he
fun.
would call again before the segment.
Well, there you made him. The phone's ringing.
The phone is ringing. Hi, Bram. Are you
Hello,
there?
Rob.
Hi. Yeah,
It's Bram Weinstein.
Bram, how are you?
I'm doing great. Just want to say, looking forward to a fantastic season.
Hey,
Should be special.
You know, you didn't get a chance to say it a lot last week. How do you call a touchdown for the Washington Redskins?
Who's the quarterback? Do you know the name of the quarterback for the Skins? Do we know? No,
it
nobody
is
knows anymore.
Daniels.
Daniels drops back, throws it. No, Daniels like the. All right, drops back, throws it. It's he's at the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10, and TD.
That's really good.
That's it. We got to get out of here. That we'll take a break.
Thank
we'll
you,
come back.
Bram Weinstein, and also thank you, Reed Galen, both joining us today.
Wonderful. Two players on the show today. That's
Players.
what we call it. We have a beautiful video coming up and lots more fun and thrills. You, ladies and gentlemen, have the distinct honor and privilege of listening to the all over the place Mike O'Mara Show. Whoa, whoa. And right now, I want to tell you to unleash your best self with DermGlowSkin.com. It's never been easier. Just fill out a quick questionnaire, have a call with a medical provider, and get your prescription delivered right to your door. Just one injection a week, and you're on your way to losing 21 to 26% of your weight while improving blood sugar. Now listen, Mrs. O'Mara would tell you this. There are products to help you lose weight. You still do the stuff you have to do. You keep track of what you're eating.
Sure.
You keep track of your weight. You pay attention to that kind of stuff. But I'm telling you, these products can help you improve blood sugar, cholesterol, and your blood pressure. They offer FDA-approved semaglutide and tirzepatide for weight loss. Plus, and there's, by the way, at this company that Carla worked with, wonderful stuff coming down the pike, too, involving some of these weight loss medications. Plus, they have NAD+, B12, Samorelin, and PT141 for that extra boost. Get ready to shine in Las Vegas, feel great, and look amazing. Start your transformation today at DermGlowSkin.com. I'm Michael O'Mara, and I approve this message, everyone.
You sound just like Bram Weinstein.
Bram Weinstein.
That's
the
not
news
right,
sounder.
Mike. I hit
That's
the wrong
news
button.
sounder.
Hey, I like that. Some beautiful video.
I scour, as everybody knows, when we're going to do a live broadcast, I scour the world looking for talent to open. And I'm not
Yes.
sure where this guy was from originally, but what an act we have. Let's play a short clip. And I'll show you this. This is the guy that will be opening for us
This is
in
exciting.
Las Vegas. You're going to love this.
Is He plays guitar.
Yeah, but look at his back.
Got like a one-man band set up.
On his back, he's got a bass drum. He's got a cymbal. And he's on the street. He's a street musician.
You know what he is, Mike? He's a busker.
A what?
A busker. A street
busker?
performer. Yeah.
Okay. Now, it just sounds like he's going to play the guitar. He's doing all the things with it on his back, his percussion. How about a little Latin beat?
I love it.
Take it away. Here we go. It's going to get better. I promise you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Mike, we don't even need to do the show if we have him.
Las Vegas, Nevada. Join us at the downtown grand. Join us in Las Vegas, Nevada. Come to the downtown grand. All right, that's enough of that. There he is. Isn't that wonderful talent?
I think that's sensational. You know, that's a specialty act.
You know, in the hamlet of Manassas, Virginia, back in the day, I liked occasionally to have an adult beverage. You know that, right? You did too.
I
right?
joined you with it. Yeah, I mean, that was sometimes your house was the destination of the after party.
I will say this, that Robb Spiewak spent many of his imbibing hours in the privacy of his own home down in his man cave. I had a period of time, about 5 years, where I was a saloon proprietor and, tried on a couple of occasions to go in there and not imbibe. I found it a little bit difficult. So I had me a lot of drinks. And quite often I would end the evening at the pub and even have people to my house afterwards. But I'm here to say that there were many, many times that I was tipsy, but I never let this happen. Let's take it. This man's name is Drunky Drinkberry, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a quick look.
You don't have to go home, but you can.
Oh, my God.
Legs up in the air. Can we see that one more time? That's legs up in the air fall. That's a really good one.
Amazing.
Closing time.
To go home, but you can.
He must be closing up in the middle of the day, I suppose.
Yeah, and he's not a light man. There's a lot of potential energy.
It looked like he was going to make it onto the other stool and just lean over.
Yeah, he had a different problem with stool after that.
Sorry, that didn't happen. I always talk about Florida wildlife down here, but I think really when you want to get the really cool stuff like you've never seen before, you have to go to Asia. There's just amazing stuff that we're not familiar with that much in the States. This is a Thailand sand mollusk, and I have never seen a creature more fascinating than this.
Does
and
he live
you will
in
notice
Siam?
Siam. You mean Thailand? At the beginning of this, you'll see how they lure the Thailand sand mollusk out of the sand. This is fascinating. Take a peek at this right now.
All right.
There's the garlic salt. There's the mollusk. Obviously living under there.
Sounds like it's near the ocean.
A lot of garlic salt on that sand, and then it start moving.
Oh, no. Sand is moving.
See it moving?
Yeah.
Isn't it cool?
That's wild.
Very, very cool. Seems to be coming out. That is something else. Look how big it is. You can see the perspective with the
it's
the
casting
hand.
a shadow before anything.
Coming out right now.
Oh, you're so full of it. That's not a hand. It's a hand.
It's a human hand.
You know what you are? You're a problem. You are part of the problem, not the
Folks,
solution.
if you want to know what we're laughing at, you got to go back and check out the video on YouTube today. Please do that. I think you'll like it. A lot of coverage, such media scrutiny on the debate.
Did you make up the phrase sand mollusk?
Yes, Thailand sand mollusk.
You're crazy.
That's how I gave it credibility. We have exclusive video on the show today. This is special. This is Trump entering the debate last night. There was a hallway that he came down before the debate. Can we roll the tape of Donald Trump arriving in Philadelphia?
I didn't realize he was that energetic.
Hope you enjoyed that.
I must have
love
been
this.
so focused on the message, Mike, that I didn't see that he was wearing his ear bandage.
Yeah, I know. Bad CGI is still good CGI.
Always fun.
You know I love this. People send me these all the time. This one I got on my own. And feel free to send me great video
That's
on
great.
Facebook
Pretty
if you
video,
find something
yeah.
you like. I get tons of baby laughs. I've almost gotten burned out on them, but then you get one that's just so good you can't ignore it. For those of you that think this is the greatest sound in the world, I give you another little baby laugh. Check this one out. You're going to love it. Throwing stuff at him and he's laughing.
Let the kid breathe, for God's sake.
One more.
Well, Mike, you didn't give the backstory. This is the baby watching the debate last night.
There it is. I love stand-up. You know, I like to wrap these
Yes.
segments up that I do with stand-up before we get to Robb's. Right after this, I will tell you that I have often thought that it would be good material, stand-up material, to do age jokes for, you know, America as we get older as a society.
Sure.
But you really can't own it unless you're this guy named Andy Huggins, who is an old comic that has one-liner after one-liner after one-liner about being old, and he looks like he's 1,000 years old.
This will be good.
This is Andy Huggins, ladies
Before I
and
got my
gentlemen.
hearing aids, my crowd work was terrible. I asked an audience member where he was from. He said, my mama. I heard Miami and said I'd been there. Recently, my Uber driver was from Egypt, and when I got into his car, he was talking over a phone in Arabic, only I didn't see any device, so I thought he was talking to me, using syllables I didn't recognize. And I thought, so, this is what a stroke is like.
That's great.
Andy Huggins, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take a break, and when we come back, video for you. I hope you're enjoying the show, ladies and gentlemen. And let me see, what are we talking about next year? I'm very excited about this. Yes, a brand new sponsor, Fitbod, ladies and gentlemen. Listen, whether you are a seasoned gym goer or you are just starting your fitness journey, what your workout really needs is Fitbod. It's a fitness app that customizes each workout based on your goals and adapts them as you improve. Fitbod tailors a personal workout based on your time and equipment, and it saves you time too. And it'll tailor a workout routine for you no matter what the constraints are, whether it's equipment, whether it's the space that you have, and whether you've got 10 minutes or 2 hours. Fitbod will help you get better with each workout, and they create a personalized workout routine based on your goals, your fitness level, and your availability of equipment. Fitbod tracks your muscle recovery so you can avoid burnout and keep up your momentum. They know what they're doing. It's like a personal trainer, but it's better. It's cheaper. It's easier to build a custom fitness plan and one
Josh
that
has
works
got it
for
right
you.
there. That's
He's
very
working
cool.
out as we speak. Add Fitbod to your workout essentials. Join Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan. Get 25% off your subscription or try the app for free. Josh is showing you one of their workouts right there. Oh, the dreaded lunge, Mr. Soroka.
What are you having for lunch today?
Fitbod.me/TMOS. That's FITBOD.me/TMOS. And we thank you, Fitbod.
So, Mike, did you watch the debate from the very beginning last night?
I did. I watched probably only about 10 minutes of pre-debate with the analysis because I feel the same way about a football game. I hate the pre-game.
As do I.
I like to get right to it. But yeah,
I was wondering if they all carried this or this was just an ABC thing with the official rules of the debate.
Vice President Kamala Harris and President Donald Trump are just moments away from taking the stage in this unprecedented race for president. And that brings us to the rules of tonight's debate.
A series of questions in either category, or special category. If they get it right, they get a, and if they get a wrong answer, they get a. At the end of the contest, they will hear this, and they must stop immediately. At any point in the proceedings, they may be given a, which means they can ask for another question, or if they hear a, It's the fire alarm.
The ABC News presidential debate starts right now.
I have concepts of a plan.
So anyway, that's
your favorite. That's your favorite moment. I can tell that's your favorite moment from the debate.
I do
Concepts
like
of a plan. There you go.
My jaw dropped. Now, I have said before that all comedy is music, that music is very important in all things.
You said all comedy is music?
Yeah, because of the timing. If the timing's not right, the comedy is not there. So this I found on one of the social things that Trump's speech pattern during a key moment last night perfectly matches up with a piece of music from a Charlie Brown Christmas. And I said, that's nonsense. That can't possibly be true. But this is unedited footage of Trump put against unedited footage of Vince Guaraldi, and check out the match here.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
Try that again. I want to watch that again.
Isn't that sensational?
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
They're eating the cats.
Yes, they are. It's horrible, isn't it?
They're
eating the cats.
And it's the holidays just around the corner. Very
One more time.
They're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
And I applaud the person that was able to spot that because it's a perfect matchup.
You know, and if you are in that area, I forgot, is it Ohio? Is that where
it's Ohio.
Bring them in at night, folks. Really,
Yeah.
What's that smell? It sounds like something it sounds like something barbecuing. It's probably not sushi though, right? They're not going to do it raw. Although I did watch our favorite show, Alone, last night, and the bird that they eat the most out in the Saskatchewan wilderness are grouse. Grouse seem to be really sluggish birds, and they are just popping off the grouse at every turn with a bow and arrow. It's I feel bad for the grouses.
The bird they eat most in the Midwest in America is Larry.
Larry Bird.
Yes.
Yeah. The Hoosier.
Mike, I know you like to pair a good cocktail or wine with a beautiful meal.
Yes.
Have you ever had Gator wine?
Gator wine?
This is a guy, professional food reviewer on YouTube, and they bring him weird stuff, and he rates it.
Sounds like our home state.
Yeah, he is not anti-Gator wine.
It's great with everything.
Gator wine.
God, straight up, yes, right, it does.
This is Gator wine. Guess what it is?
Gatorade and wine?
Yes. It's specifically equal parts light blue Gatorade.
Light blue Gatorade?
And red wine, cheap, under $12.
Well, this is exactly what I need right now. Some electrolytes, some booze. It's not like anything I've ever tasted.
Come on.
The more I'm drinking it, the more I like it. I gotta give it a 6.
6 of 10. All right. I'll take the bullet.
Coming in the Gator wine. So hold on.
Mike, it's blue Gatorade and cheap red is what it is.
Cheap red. Can it be a good red too? Perhaps.
No,
I suppose
red. He said it's got to be cheap. Yeah, under $12.
Under $12 wine. All right, I commit to you. I will take it on the bonus show. Is it sugary Gatorade or is it Gatorade Zero?
I'm sure it's the real stuff.
Yeah,
the real Gatorade.
Yeah, and also, Mike,
can you play just up until the point she pours it? I want to see the ratio.
Okay.
Just so I remember, because otherwise I will
ratio. I think it looked about half.
It's 50-50. I don't need to see it again. All right.
Okay.
It's 50-50. That's fine.
And Mike,
I will
if you
try.
like it during the bonus, we have a cocktail show not too far away.
Yes. Yeah, but see, if I hate it, I'm not going to drink it for the whole time.
No, but think of the hydration.
Yeah.
Plus, he said it gets better as you drink more.
Well, that's true of any alcoholic beverage.
Imagine that hangover.
Any cheap wine.
Pretty nasty, I would think.
Well, people drink Gatorade to beat a hangover.
Yeah, you got the electrolytes. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Well, I'm on a liquid IV, man. Perhaps I put a little red wine with liquid IV. Huh?
Mike, let's close with this. We are still selling tickets to see us in Las Vegas on the weekend of November 9th. I don't know if we're taking the right tact in selling tickets. Larry David put a video up for his tour,
Yeah.
and I don't know, maybe we should try this.
Hello, I'm Larry David. Lucky me. So listen, there are some tickets going on sale for this thing I'm doing. It's really nothing. It'll be a total waste of your time. You know, there's not that many things to do at night. So yeah, I guess if you have nothing to do, but you could consider bowling. It's not a terrible, I haven't done it in about 50 years, but now that I mention it, I think I might hit the lanes soon. Anyway, if you want to go, you go. If you don't, you don't. Not a big deal either way. Okay.
And then he puts
Thank
up
you.
his tour dates.
Let me say this. You hold the music for a second.
All right, stop
I'd
the-
like
hey,
to.
stop
I'd like
the
to.
music.
I'd like to amplify that for a little bit with
All right.
my extra, a little bonus promo for our trip to Las Vegas, and I would like
Right.
to say that calling on you, degenerate gamblers.
Here.
For you, if you happen to be a degenerate gambler and you're thinking, Vegas is great and a live show is great, but I'd like to go to the live show for like the first 10 minutes. I welcome you. If you buy a ticket, come for 10 minutes and say, we're going, I like
So
you.
like a rally.
Like a rally. Exactly the same thing. Come for 10 minutes. And
Wait
then,
until we talk about Hannibal Lecter and
Right.
then get out.
We're going to go downstairs afterwards anyway. You're going to be able to see us all weekend. We're going to be around there. But buy tickets. I think, if you want to go gamble, if you want to see one of the better shows on the Las Vegas Strip, and we're starting, what time? Are we going to start at 8 o'clock? Is that when we're going to start the
you'll
show?
be done in time to catch most of George Wallace.
That's it. The best 10 o'clock show, if he still does it. I don't
If
think
he's still
he does it.
alive.
I think that's like 30
But
years
Mike,
ago.
all I'm saying is just make a plan.
I have concepts of a plan.
I want you to do this for me, all right? To support us, you can roll in, get your ticket, and I don't care after that. Once you buy your ticket, you can do and by the way, go down and get a snack if we don't have them up on the deck, if there's something you want in particular. And by the way, while I'm doing the show, I will not be averse to people taking a swim. In fact, I'd encourage it. As we're doing, I would like to entertain people. Well, we're on the pool deck, are we not? That's where we are.
I think it's a great idea.
I would like to entertain people poolside. I still have not decided. Temperature will dictate everything. But I will
As
tell
it
you.
always does, Mike.
Look, I am told that could be in the upper 60s to low 70s.
I will pack the waterproof microphone.
Could you pack a wetsuit for me? Because I'm not sure I want to. I am a Floridian. I'm not sure I want to get in the at the downtown Grand into the pool.
I am sure it's a heated pool.
Heated pool.
Hey, you know what would be fun? We could toss one of our commemorative coins in the pool, and then people could dive in to get it, like you do with kids. And
No,
dogs.
now you're risking a serious spinal injury, you
Mike,
moron.
I'm just, there are no wrong answers when you brainstorm. That's all.
At least you didn't say the ceramic mug.
Yeah,
that
no,
would just shatter all in
that
there.
would shatter. And then they got to close the pool.
Rick Schofield has gone into the bed. Oh no! Oh dear, he's not conscious, ladies and gentlemen.
Rescue
Please
the
do that.
jacket.
By the way, and this is for the ladies of TMOS.
Yes.
Oh God, I'm thinking off the top of my head right now. And if you're considering this to be an extra promotion for our Las Vegas show, let it be so. Ladies of TMOS. If you happen to get together and you get into Las Vegas early enough and you'd like to do a little Esther Williams swim dance number for us, I would be. Sharon Bailey, I could see you in the center of that pool.
She would be the choreographer,
It
rising
would
with
be
sparklers on her head.
Absolutely. And I bet you could even talk Mrs. O'Mara into sliding into one of those. And by the way, they should be the sensible 1940s bathing suits.
Yeah, Google the
That's what I'd like to
movie.
see.
Look for the movie Dangerous When Wet. That's a good one. And Mike, congratulations. I didn't think you'd be able to outdo Dionne Warwick, but you win.
Listen to
today
me. Listen.
With the Esther Williams reference.
This is important, all right?
Okay.
I am now, as I am getting close, this is when I really start putting my brain on it when we're 2 months out. And
Right.
by the way, buy your tickets to the shows. Tickets still available. You know that. We talk about it every day. I am thinking, I'm wondering if the pool is deep enough where you can certify people for scuba diving. I'm just thinking out loud here, just if you had a tank and one of those little microphones.
Sure.
We could at that point we could do CPR certification as well.
Yeah, perfect. Coming and going.
Wouldn't that be an entrance? Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Especially if it was dark.
I'll only go in the pool, Mike, if I can wear one of the old suits that has the round helmet with the windows on all four sides.
We love an entrance on the Mike
We do.
O'Mara show for
We
our live.
certainly do.
And if you want to know, we've given a lot of thought. Rob and Josh and I have had many meetings about this after the show. And I will tell you, I don't want to give anything away about the entrances that we're making. But, let me just say, Tom Cruise got nothing on me.
Oh, boy.
Right? There you go. All right? Yeah. It's just a question of getting the certification for the hang glider.
And getting
That's
your
all it
teeth
is.
centered. That's the other thing.
That's it, right. One seems to be right under the cleft of the lip.
But you've got the concept down.
I've got the concept down.
That's 90% of it right there.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to get out of here. We'll see you tomorrow for a brand new episode. Our thanks to Reed Galen, ladies and gentlemen. Reed Galen, co-founder of the Lincoln Project. I've got his thing.
His new podcast is called The Home Front. You can get it where any podcasts are available. And also check out reedgalen.substack.com now more than ever. And look at Mike.
This is my impression of a 1940s Italian widow. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow for Rob
Not all
Spewak
impressions are with your voice.
and Josh Soroka. Michael O'Mara saying so long, everybody.
Bye-bye, folk.
Want more? Make sure you check out the Mike O'Mara Bonus Show. Get it at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
Mike O'Mara, Radio Entertainment.
That will never happen again, and I'm sorry.
And what time did Mr. O'Mara's review come in last night?
Oh, he didn't come in here at all. We're all on computers now. You see, O'Mara wrote his reviews on his home computer and then sent it in here by modems over the telephone.
Back in a moment, my dear. We have to,
I really screwed that up. Goodbye.
Bye.